Hello, it is Virginia again at Satsuma Diaries, and I am back to talk to you about spiritual stuff. I hope you're doing well, and I just have a cup of tea, and as usual, I want to nerd out with you guys. So what I thought we could do today is talk about my favorite witchy books. Intuition, they're wide-ranging, like maybe they're about intuition development, maybe they're about spirituality broadly. Some of them are just like straight up weird channel material. So I have like 7 or 8, I don't know, of my favorites, and maybe you're curious about what other intuitives are reading. So I'm going to go down my list, and I have them kind of stacked in the order that I found them on my path. So I thought that would be another interesting thing to share about. So to start is The Guardians of the Celtic Way. This is actually, I found this as soon as I got on the path. I came across the Law of One stuff, which is channeled, and I had never heard of channeled stuff. And once I realized there was a whole genre out there, I found The Guardians of the Celtic Way. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. It's kind of an Arthurian focus, but there's like Christian mysticism mixed with the Fae. So it's like almost like pagan and Christian at the same time. It's really beautiful. And it's channeled, and this mystic channels stones in the Celtic tradition, plants, trees, animals, and it's about harmonizing the Christ with the Magdalene forces internally. I mean, it's very high level, I found. I still don't even quite know what to do with it. It's just, but it's profound, and so check it out. I think you can still get it online, actually. I think you could get it on Amazon. Secondly, this is not as esoteric, the cat's out of the bag on this one, but the Bhagavad Gita, out of the Hindu tradition. Yeah, this was a wild book. When I read this thing, I remember there was just this crazy amount of peace in my system. It was like the most restful I had ever felt in my entire life. And books that are meant for you in your path, they'll give you that feeling. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like all the cells in your body just, they relax and they're at rest. And that's how you know you're kind of in communion, I find. And so I have like a really big past life connection with Krishna, and so, and the Indian traditions, so I'm pretty sure that's why it feels so resonant for me. But what I think it offers us all is just a really a great explanation as to the bigger self, the higher self, the part of you that is one with God. And yeah, I think that transcending the small ego self is really kind of foreign and novel for a lot of people who are still, you know, waiting for their awakening experiences, and maybe their first big opening in life. They don't know that feeling of like the bigger self. And I mean, I ran into that feeling spontaneously when I was like in my late 20s. And this book, when I came across it, finally described what I had experienced, had put it into words. So definitely recommend that. Okay, here is like my top book recommendation. There's a pencil on here because I'm always rereading it. It's Opening to Channel, and How to Connect with Your Guide. It's I'll link it below. It is like the most important book I've ever read, I'm pretty sure, in intuition development. I'm pretty sure it's very activating. I read it the year that I had my big bang psychically. So among other things, I think that it helped open me that year. It really does guide you to connect with stones or plants near you. It teaches about psychometry. It teaches about opening the channel and inviting guides in and like what that should feel like. And I just found that the exercises really do work. And that's, in my opinion, that is what sets apart a good spiritual book from a meh spiritual book. Is, does it have really detail-oriented, concrete exercises that you can do and employ? I mean, yeah, because mysticism and intuition development is an experiential path. You need to be able to test these concepts out in your own psychic development, your own psychic, your intuition development practice. So always go for books. I mean, I really recommend books that recommend you getting into meditation and giving their modalities a shot. So definitely pick that one up. Fourthly, the serious mystery. I didn't feel like this was like the most well-written book, but if you're into the starseed scene and you have a connection with with Sirius and the Sirius star system, you probably want to pick this up, because in my experience, Egypt and Sirius are going hand in hand. Like when I asked for my, when I first opened and I asked for my life purpose, I saw like a lot of Egyptian imagery. And the more I went into it, the more I realized that it was because they were leading me back up to Sirius, into the Sirius initiation. So I'm definitely into the ancient alien focus of this book, and they get real into multiple cultures that were invoking Sirius, but Egyptians come up a lot. So check that out. Okay, moving along. Just found this book this year after a mystic friend told me that they could see that I was supposed to practice more mediumship, and which was a surprise to me because I just never thought of myself as a medium. So I was like looking into resources, and I found this book, Where Two Worlds Meet, How to Develop Evidential Mediumship. That's a key word that you want to look for, evidential mediumship, evidential. And I found this book to be really useful in the same way that Opening to Channel was. There's a lot of really concrete exercises for intuition development. In fact, all those online courses that you see all over the internet, this book, and I mean, they're beautiful courses. I definitely recommend you look into those. But this book actually has those exercises and a lot of those online intuition development courses. It has it published in this book. So if you want like a one-stop shop, this book is a really great way to go. And I just love this woman's approach. She wants you to use the energies and ask spirit for specifics so that you can give your client or give your sitter really specific, detailed information, because a lot of times spiritual information comes in on a high level, and it can be really tempting to just like report from that high level view. And she kind of teaches you how to look out for details in the messages. So it makes you a better mystic, or a better psychic, I should say. Lastly, this is one of my favorite books, and I think I've talked about this before, is The Woman's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. I don't think it's necessary for it to be focused on women's symbology, but for whatever reason, Barbara Walker is like a major scholar and did such a thorough job on this book. So anything by her, I think there's another like dictionary for goddesses and myths by her, and like, why don't I have that yet? Okay, moving along. I have talked about this one before in my, I think it was like, what is mysticism video, and I've got a pencil on this one too. It's so good, and it's academic is why I like it. The Varieties of Religious Experience by William James, and he is a big name that you'll hear in psychology for people, academics who have taken mysticism seriously. And this is basically like an ethnography of psychics and ecstatic states. So, hello, it's a little bit nerdy and academic, but I think you'll appreciate that universities weren't always ostracizing divine experience. So it was healing in that way for me. And then lastly, I've just come across this. This was recommended to me this last year. Dion, I think Dion Fortune, The Esoteric Philosophy of Love and Marriage. I'm not recommending this book per se. I'm recommending her material. She seems like a really classic, intuitive to tune into, kind of like on the level of Edgar Cayce or Rudolf Steiner. She seems like a really almost like turn of the century practitioner, and a lot of those mystics at that time were really skillful, and they were almost academic, because I don't think the intellectual circles had shunned like mysticism as much as they have these days. So I like her style. Some of the stuff in this book in particular felt a little dated for relationships and stuff, but look into Dion Fortune. I think she'll be interesting to a lot of you guys, especially you guys who are into initiation. She has a book on initiation, and yeah, just psychic development and ascension. Lastly, I don't have a physical book because most of his material is online as Rudolf Steiner. I will link his archive below, but he's a classic, like up there with Edgar Cayce. And I'm new to his material, but I'm finding it really thorough. And it's like, this guy is like an encyclopedia amount of information that he was channeling and disseminating through his career. And he's kind of turn of the century too, so he's a little bit, his language is a little bit less accessible than some of these newer writers, but he's a classic and a master in his own right, and so I will recommend him as well. So what are you reading? What has helped you on your path? What has helped you in your intuition development journey? I want to know, because I'm super nerdy and I'm always adding to my collection. So leave your favorite books in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you, and please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.